Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have hired former CIA agents with a proven track record of lying to the public, gaslighting the public.
It's absurd that they were going to this level. Breaking news, Justin Baldoni just got a big win, meaning Blake Lively got a big loss. Are her lawyers dumb? Like, what's happening? Why do they keep making these mistakes and fumbling the ball like this? I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public? You're despicable and a massive hypocrite.
Blake Lively's fairy tale image is over. What she just did in her legal battle with Justin Baldoni isn't just shocking. It's a Hollywood hypocrisy masterclass that will leave you speechless.
There's a lot of this sort of like Blake complaining that they're evading the privacy. They're doing all this. But then meanwhile, right, she's on Saturday Night Live with Ryan making jokes, hitting back. I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public?
For years, she was America's sweetheart. But behind the dazzling smile, a legal battle has ripped off the mask, revealing tactics so dirty, so manipulative. They involve CIA operatives.
Team Blake was trying to basically ask for like 2.5 years worth of cell phone records, everything, locations, all this data, which felt very evasive. They basically said, listen, it's ridiculous that you're asking for all this stuff because you're asking for 2.5 years, but you claim the retaliation started in August of this summer. Yes, Baldoni, you're right. We have squashed the subpoena. The reach was too big, and therefore they agreed that the ruling, they squashed the extent to seek the phone records of Wayfair. The ruling is without prejudice. Live parties, several modified subpoena.
For years, she cultivated the image of America's sweetheart, but behind the dazzling smile, a legal battle with Justin Baldoni has exposed a side of Lively no one expected. It's not just a lawsuit, it's a calculated PR war, and the tactics she's deploying are leaving jaws on the floor. Hiring former CIA operatives, lying and gaslighting the public. This isn't just about winning in court, it's about controlling the narrative, and it begs the question, what is Blake Lively desperately trying to hide?
They went and met Conferred, and they said they were going to get rid of the request to the extent it said all documents related to blank, and they just wanted the phone records. And the court said no. The court said that could include therapists, doctors, friends, colleagues, business people. It's way too broad. And so what he did is he sent them back to the drawing board and said, you got to go meet and confer again. You could serve a more narrowly tailored subpoena, but you haven't done it here.
The bombshell dropped when it was revealed Lively and Ryan Reynolds enlisted ex-CIA agents to manage her crumbling public image. Yes, you heard that right. CIA operatives, experts in deception and manipulation, now shaping Blake Lively's PR strategy. Leading this charge is Nick Shapiro, a former deputy chief of staff at the CIA, who served under John Brennan, a figure synonymous with intelligence-backed media control. This is the same Nick Shapiro who was among the 51 intelligence officials who falsely discredited the Hunter Biden laptop story as Russian disinformation. Think about that. A man with a proven track record of lying to the public, now tasked with salvaging Blake Lively's reputation. It's a move that screams desperation and raises serious questions about the truth behind Lively's claims.
Is this truly a win for Justin and a loss for Blake?
Absolutely a win for Justin, and you're absolutely right, Andy, in your interpretation of the document. What they said is basically, they told you to go, you have to go meet and confer and see if you can come up with more narrow requests.
He's right there. He's absolutely right there. They are trying to keep some evidence out of the public eye.
But hiring a government propagandist might be the least of her worries, because in court, things are going from bad to worse for Lively. Her legal team seems to be fumbling at every turn, turning what started as a lawsuit into a public humiliation spectacle. Legal experts are baffled by their strategy, calling it amateurish and ineffective. Judge Louis Lyman has delivered what can only be described as judicial roast sessions, repeatedly slamming down her team's outlandish requests and weak arguments. The most recent blunder? A wildly overreaching subpoena for Justin Baldoni's phone records, seeking 2.5 years of data, including calls, texts, and location history. It was a demand so absurd, it was dead on arrival.
First and foremost, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have hired former CIA agents with a proven track record of lying to the public, gaslighting the public. She's quietly working with Nick Shapiro, the CIA's former deputy chief of staff and senior advisor to former director John Brennan. So this guy, high up, just about as high up as you can possibly get.
History. It was a demand so absurd, it was dead on arrival. The sheer scope of the subpoena request was breathtakingly intrusive. Lively's team demanded not just Baldoni's personal communications, but also records from his PR experts, executives, and even his doctor. Yes, his doctor. They wanted everything dating back to 2022, despite claiming Baldoni's supposed smear campaign began in August of this year. The timeline simply doesn't add up, and Judge Lyman didn't hesitate to point out this glaring contradiction. He called the subpoena overly intrusive and disproportionate, legal speak for, "What were you even thinking?" It was a humiliating defeat, exposing not just a flawed legal strategy, but a fundamental lack of evidence to back Lively's claims.
They just sort of take out, smear, and destroy the reputations of people that they don't like, or people perhaps that their clients don't like. But the question is, who do they do that on behalf of? Blake and Ryan, who for sure gave that information to Megan Twohey of the New York Times, have opted to use a former top guy at the CIA for PR. So what is he doing for them exactly, okay?
The irony is dripping with hypocrisy. Blake Lively, who once seemed to embody the America's sweetheart persona, is now resorting to tactics straight out of a Hollywood villain playbook. She's complaining about privacy, yet she and Ryan Reynolds are on Saturday Night Live making light of the lawsuit, turning serious legal matters into comedy sketches. Even more jarring is the memory of Lively mocking Justin Baldoni years ago for hiring crisis PR ahead of a movie release. She acted as if he was the desperate one trying to control his image. Fast forward to today, and she's not just hired a PR firm, she's brought in a government-trained propagandist, someone whose expertise is in manipulating public perception on a national level. The double standard is staggering, and the public is starting to notice.
But this is an actual headline right now in Variety. It reads that Blake Lively hires CIA alum for crisis PR in legal battle with Justin Baldoni.
I mean, that first subpoena, as you pointed out when we talked on our prior show, it was massively overbroad. It basically asked...
Are you as shocked by this as we are? If you're hooked and want to see how this Hollywood train wreck unfolds, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next.
For everything under the sun. And it was crazy. And it was never going to get granted in full. So I'm surprised they didn't back off and try to do a little more tailored at the beginning.
The judge makes a point of like, well, then why do you need 2 years worth? In her own suit, she alleges this campaign started in August. So why the reach for 2.5 years? Was nice to see the judge really sort of acknowledge that. This is the part I'm looking.
Now, Justin Baldoni isn't just sitting back and taking punches. He's fighting back hard. He's launched a massive $400 million lawsuit against Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, accusing them of defamation and extortion. And it doesn't stop there. The New York Times is also facing a $250 million lawsuit for publishing what many believe was a hit piece fed to them by Lively's team. Leaked audio from WME CEO Ari Emanuel has further fueled the fire, revealing how Ryan Reynolds allegedly pressured WME to drop Baldoni as a client. This isn't just a legal dispute, it's a glimpse into the dark side of Hollywood power, where careers can be sabotaged behind the scenes while public smiles are plastered on for the cameras.
Is anyone else seeing the gaslighting from Blake and Ryan, constantly trying to just wave things that we've seen with our own minds and pretend like they didn't happen?
Remember, a massive part of the CIA's job, really the most important part of the CIA's job, is managing public relations, because we, the people, wouldn't agree to go to war unless they sold that idea to us. They need a crisis.
She thinks this is okay and like proudly displaying us. We're women, so we can just lie and cheat and steal our way into control these big movies. I mean, how disturbing is this to you?
As the legal battles escalate and the PR spins out of control, Blake Lively's carefully constructed image is crumbling. Hollywood insiders are whispering, the public is reacting with disbelief, and even voices like Candace Owens are calling out the blatant manipulation. Each legal misstep, each desperate PR move only digs Lively's hole deeper. The question now isn't just about who will win in court, but whether Blake Lively can salvage her career from this self-inflicted disaster. Will producers want to work with someone embroiled in such public and messy legal battles? And with rumors swirling that Taylor Swift might get dragged into this saga, could this Hollywood feud explode into an even bigger spectacle? One thing is clear. Blake Lively's attempt to control the narrative has backfired spectacularly, and her downfall might just be beginning.
she's on Saturday Night Live with Ryan making jokes, hitting back. I mean, is it not a little hypocritical? Is this a bad look of her if she's trying to tell the courts that we should stop talking about this in public? Blake Lively is caught in old footage revealing that, yes, her secret plan is to always take control of the movies and lie to the directors.
Because that's what she has told people in interviews. She's opened up about the fact that she struggles for equality, all the struggles that she faces on behalf of trying to stand up as a woman.
So, is this the end for Blake Lively as we know her? Is this calculated hypocrisy going to cost her everything? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of this breaking Hollywood scandal and see just how far Blake Lively's downfall goes, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell right now. Don't forget to like this video if you're as stunned as we are by this insane story. Thanks for watching!